Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego Super Mario Larry's and Morton's Airships set. This is set number 71427. It has 1,062 pieces, and I paid $60 for this set. I think this retails for $80 or $90. I actually referenced this set somewhat recently when I was looking at a different Super Mario set, because I thought this retailed for like $90 and it had like 1,300 pieces, but maybe maybe I misremembered. But this is the one I was talking about. Maybe this has 1,000 pieces and retailed for $80, but then I was able to get it on on a discount, so $20 off, bringing this down to $60. And I thought, 1,062 pieces, which, if my assumption about Mario things is correct, it's probably going to be a lot of prints. These seemed like this is an expansion pack, like some of the other ones I've looked at, but also kind of could be standalone-ish on their own, similar to like the Bowser muscle car. So I did really want to check this out, so I could not pass up that deal. And so I got it. And now in this video, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego Super Mario, Larry's, and Morton's Airships expansion set, I just wanted to say thanks and then remind you, if you like the video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button, please. That helps me a lot. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I appreciate all the help. It means a lot to me, so thank you very much. That's a huge milestone, and I'm grateful for all the support. So we start off building Larry there. This is a buildable figure, kind of gets his own little bag of pieces, and then we move on to building Larry's airship here. So it's very much a boat, but also a airfaring vehicle, and there's some nice color pieces. Some of these colored pieces are internal, some of them are going to be external. A lot of them mimic the colors of the Larry buildable character. Do have an anchor there and a chain with which will be part of a bigger kind of feature and function for this set that I really liked and was kind of surprised by. So that's really cool. So we have about half the boat here. Moving on to the next few pieces, we can add the rest of the mass. We can add the face, so we have kind of the collar or the spiky thing around Larry's neck. We add the hair or the feather or whatever that is, and then we build up the face here, which is cool, although there's some scale issues there, but I do like how similar it is, or identical it is in some ways to the figure there. We work on building the back portion, which has a little bit of like a rudder or a propeller or something at the back, as well as these kind of wings that hang off the back, which look super cool, and there's some nice details, nice techniques there. And then with the crow's nest and the rest of the mass, we finish that one up, and then we go here with a couple of Mario platforms and a Goomba that's a pirate Goomba, and I was pretty impressed with that, actually. And then we go on to build the Morton character here, which is a little bit bigger than the Larry character, but not quite as big as like the Bowser character from the Bowser muscle car, and maybe other times Bowser has appeared in Lego, so that's great. And then once Morton is all done with their arms here and their accessories, we can move on to Morton's airship. This is quite a bit bigger than the Larry airship. It has a different color scheme, which is more consistent with the Morton figure here. There are some similarities in shape and techniques and different features and details, so there's some kind of consistent sort of things that carry on from both, but a lot of them, a lot of the differences are that there's like more or bigger of those particular kind of elements on the Morton one here. You can also see here, this was kind of a surprise, but also not really if you watch the build portion, but this ship we're building a slightly different way. We're not building it all the way around because it does have a couple hinges there, because it can be opened up, which is one of the main features here and one of the main functions. And I think it's really, really great as a standalone thing when it's all closed. I think it's really, really well done, but it also has some really cool functionality in there, and there's some internal details in there that you might not notice, which I do appreciate. And overall, this build is really nice. We can close up the bottom here, and we have a little bit more to add on the rear to lengthen it a little bit, and we're going to add some more stuff on the top as well. So here you can see one of the little function things in there, and then we add some stuff to the back that eventually some different things get clipped on, and there was some nice little sub-assemblies in here and some nice stuff, kind of especially for like the railings on the back, that'll be done in this bag here that I appreciated. So we can start working on those in this little sub-assembly that clips into kind of the inside at a nice angle there, which is good. And then we do the other side. You can see we have one of those Bowser shell pieces here and a few other things that will be used to finish off the rest of this model. And then I do spend some time looking at some of the functions here in the build video and kind of gathering my thoughts. And so as we finish up here with just a few more external details, I just wanted to say again, like, thank you very much. We're going to add the kind of collar here for Morton and add the Morton face on the front of the ship, because that's a requirement, and it's really well done how this is built, so that's really good. And I appreciate everyone watching, so thank you. And now on to my review for this set. Okay, so here we have the Lego Super Mario Larry's and Morton's Airships expansion set. This is really fun. I enjoyed this build a lot, and I think I'm a little bit justified, or my assumption was a little bit correct in comparing this to like the Bowser muscle car, or I think Bowser has an airship as well, in that they're pretty great builds. They're kind of standalone things, but they also can be used in the course builder system as well. And that's primarily what I was most interested in. I don't have a ton of experience or any experience with the course builder. I've looked at some of the character packs. I've looked at some of the small Mario boxes, but for the most part, the ones I'm drawn to are ones that kind of look nice like this, like standalone things, and ones such as the Bowser kind of car there. So this is really great, and there's a lot to look at, so we will get right into it. And the first thing we'll look at will be the characters. They're not minifigures, they're buildable characters. You get 3. The first one I will show here is a Goomba, and this is a like pirate Goomba here, which is kind of interesting. So face printed there, very basic body here, with a couple slope pieces, has the feet that are kind of like walking or moving forward. Face printing is pretty good. Some of the white is a little bit pink, maybe should be a little bit whiter. And then this one has a pirate hat on top, so we have this kind of Bowser logo on a round tile there, which is cool to see. And the hat actually does not stud down, so underneath that it fits on there pretty good, so I'm not like too worried about it. I can even hang it upside down and the hat will stay on, so that's really nice. But it's also easy enough to kind of flick off, or if you had one of the Mario characters, you could bonk into it, knock the hat off, which then exposes the barcode here, which one of the Peach, Luigi, Mario characters could then scan and get points for. So that's the first character there. Overall, pretty cool. I like that. I like how nicely the hat fits on there. That's pretty impressive. If I really shake it, it can come off, but it's pretty well on there, so that's good, even though it's not studded down. So we do get the one Goomba here. The next one we'll look at is Larry. So this is Larry here, all printed stuff. So this is on a 2x3, pretty good. This is on that like 2x4 rounded tile. This is on the eyes, they're on the side of the brick. And I think this is great. I've built a few of these Mario characters. They have a lot of similarities, use like similar leg pieces or feet pieces there, use similar arms generally. You can see we have kind of a staff or a wand or something over here with a bar element, hollow stud, a little translucent at the end there, so that's good. I'm actually really happy with all the production work here and how this looks. And then looking at the side, we can see kind of the color blocking and how some of this was done. On the back, we have the shell in a really nice color that matches kind of the hair or whatever that is for Larry there, and a barcode on the back that one of the Mario, Peach, Luigi characters could scan. Over on this side, we have a star that's printed, so that's really nice. And then up top we have this kind of wisp of hair or feathers or whatever this is. I'm not totally familiar with Larry's kind of anatomy there or what this might be, but that's really, really cool. So good to see Larry there. And then the other character you get in this set is Morton. So Morton is here. It's a bit bigger than Larry. It's taller except for the top bit there, but it's definitely wider. It has more kind of stuff going on. It has a similar kind of staff with a different color translucent stud there. It also has this hammer. Those are in the hands just with bracket pieces with the hollow stud, but then we use mixel joints kind of up at the shoulders, so these arms can move a little bit, which is good. The feet are stationary. It's kind of just this archway here, but that's good. This is a print. This is a print for the mouth. The eyes are a print on the side of a brick. And I liked putting this together with a little sprig of hair up top, and then we do have the kind of shell at the back, this time in black. It does have the barcode here. So I like this a lot, and it's kind of pretty expressive and fun and cool, and I think these are nice kind of antagonist characters or characters to be put in a course that the playable characters, the Mario, Luigi, Peach, could kind of interact with. So I really like that. And then besides these three figures, what we have here is these two airships, and we get a couple of these Mario platforms. So just a few in yellow of plates to kind of connect them. I'll kind of show more what this is for, but these can be used with other course builder sets or other expansion sets. This is kind of a staple thing for those. And then I wanted to get into the airships. So the first one we will look at is Larry's, and part of the way you can tell the difference is the color scheme and the overall size, and there's a few other ways. So looking at the front here, we can see we have a face that is very reminiscent of Larry's face on the airship there, which is really cool. So it has the hair, it's a bit bigger here, which is nice. It's, you know, overall scaled up. However, the eyepiece is the exact same piece used here. So it's just on that 1x3 brick, which does make the scale a little bit strange when you have the much bigger hair, bigger cheeks, bigger nose, that's nose printed there, bigger teeth. It does have kind of the collar going around it on the other side, which is really nice. I thought the building for this was really cool. A lot of curves in here. It looks very like fluid. There's a lot of good building techniques, not a ton of gaps anywhere or anything like that. Looking over on the back, we have these big kind of bucket pieces used as kind of like a cannon with some stuff on top. Over the side, we have kind of like the infinity symbol or this little sideways 8 or whatever this is. That is a printed tile. At the back, we do have kind of a propeller or maybe something to steer. You can spin that around. We also have this nice kind of wing at the back with some lanterns and maybe some seashells or different textural things there. Other side is very much the same, except we do have this anchor over here, which is good. Another cannon, another printed piece there. And I really like how like the base is big enough to be sturdy, but then it's also relatively small and it kind of builds outward, feels very much like a ship, so that's really nice. And then looking at the top, we do have the shell. This is all kind of brick built in there to look like Larry's shell, so that's pretty good. And we do have a spot to pilot this, so Larry can occupy that. Doesn't need to stud down, but I think you can stud it down. There are studs on either side there, but they fit in there nicely, and we can kind of see them in their little, at the helm, so to speak, which is good. And I really like how the head was done on here compared to how it looks back there, so that's great. There's also a barcode in the airship, so your playable character can pilot this, and then if you kind of fly it around, you can get coins and get points for that, so that's really good. Also notable, we do have the star over here again on the same side, so that's a nice attention to detail. And this is pretty great. That's about all there is to this. It's kind of denser than I thought it would be. There's a way you could probably do this where it'd be more hollow, but there's some good stuff in here. And then we do have this anchor to consider. So the anchor can actually be released, and we have a chain there, and the kind of mechanism for that is by spinning this whole like mast with the bird's nest or whatever, not spinning these kind of oars or propellers, the vane there, but spinning kind of the whole technic that goes through the center of this is what allows that to be pulled out. And it's not super ideal to just pull on this to have it unravel. I would probably recommend, pulling on it a little bit, but also twisting this to get that to work. And part of the reason is because some of the chain links could get caught on some of the edges there or anything. And it really does fold in there pretty good, so that chain just wraps around inside there, and you can get the anchor tucked in pretty well. And then if you need to lay anchor or anything, you can kind of just untwist this to make that go, and that's a pretty cool little feature there. So I like that, and it's kind of hidden, it's well tucked away, super simple mechanism there. It does add some asymmetry to the build and some internal stuff going on, and I really like that. Larry can't fit up here in the bird's nest or anything like that. A minifigure probably could, but that's not really relevant here. And overall, I think this is super great. I think you build this one first, and I was really happy with it. So I loved putting this together, and that's most of the features. Overall, very enjoyable build. As far as piece usage, building techniques, we do have some bracket pieces used. We do have some plates on plates, as well as some round bricks and different things. Corner bricks. The face was constructed rather well. The shell was fun, using a lot of hinge pieces here to get the angles just right. And I think it looks great. I think it looks really good. This could be displayed, it could be played with, so that's nice there. And then besides Larry's airship, the other thing we get here is Morton's airship. So we will look at that. It's, like I said, a good amount bigger. It's longer, it's taller, it's wider. So it's bigger in pretty much every way here. And looking at the front again, we can see we have Morton's face at the front. Now, the great thing about this is that it has the same nose kind of nostril tile as Larry's, but it does not use the same pieces as the figure here. So the eyes on this one are on a 1x3 brick, and on this one they're on a 2x4 tile. So you get that piece printed twice. This one has a really nice brick built kind of teeth and mouth area, as well as some tongue in there, which is really good. So I loved how this was constructed. We also have kind of the chain looking, or thing around the neck, or necklace, or kind of different thing there, like chains with different spikes and things going all around, which is very cool. So I like to see that. Feels very good there. And then we do have a space for the figure to sit, which is at the back here. And we have this kind of rounded piece there at the rear, and then just vented and tiles on either side. And that kind of is the opposite of a piece that would fit in this arch. So you can stud this down on those two studs and have it be in there, which looks really cool. Like to see that there. And then Besides the face and everything, looking at the side, we do use these big kind of quarter dome pieces, which are really nice. Again, it follows kind of a similar building technique of working its way up in different plates. The base is relatively small, but still very sturdy. Some round stuff. This one does come more to an angle, where this one kind of stays open more at the back, which is nice. And then most of everything is kind of just scaled up and recolored. You can see we do have 2 cannons on this side, which is a little different. We have 2 lanterns and more different stuff kind of on the railings over here. Looking at the back, we have a slightly bigger kind of propeller or rudder or something there. Again, that can spin over on the other side. Pretty similar here, more of the railing. These were really fun kind of sub-assemblies to put together, and they attach in a unique way to kind of get that tapered angle there. On this side, we have 2 more of the cannons, and that's that. And then you can see we have a couple printed 1x1s, like a compass and a clock or something like that for navigation, which is nice. There is other kind of spaces on here. We can spin this up there. This is a taller mast overall. It has a couple extra pieces than Larry's. And then we have the shell, and the shell is mostly built the same, except for it uses the Bowser shell base for the white, and then we use some black pieces there. That's a piece that usually only comes with like Bowser sets, I believe, and this might be the only time, or one of the only times that particular piece has been used, but it's still a somewhat common piece, and it's used here just for a shell. But then we use all this black stuff on top to build that with the spikes and everything is very similar. And then there's kind of some extra functionality for this one, similar to the anchor, but a good amount different as well, and that feeds into its kind of connection to the course builder. So that's really cool. And the way to do that is that this whole mast and shell area pops off. You can see the bottom there. We have a little bit of translucent inverted tile. It just is attached to these 1x3 with the 2 stud jumpers there, and you can see we have some kind of internal details and things. So this can open up. You might have noticed as I was kind of going through the side, we have a couple hinges here, and that is the same on the opposite side. So we can open this up, and the face doesn't split up. The face is connected to just one side, so this can open like that. And here we can see some different stuff. So the way that the connection works is actually with this clip going into this like ratchet joint piece here, and that's not a super strong connection. It's not like connecting this to a bar, but it just kind of uses friction to hold those together. I like that we did some details in here with some little lights and some fires, some torches there. Same with the back. We have some Nexonite shields in here, maybe some different things on the wall. We have kind of a platform here, and we do have some clips there that can be used to hold Morton's kind of accessories if need be, which is something I always appreciate and I always try to make note of. So we could put those inside the ship for storage, which is really great. And the idea here is that this could kind of be added as a portion of a course. And so if this is positioned on the ground, kind of just laying there, there's a little bit of a lip here with a couple studs, or anti-studs rather, and we can attach like these couple platforms to the end of that. So it might be that a Goomba is kind of over here, and maybe Morton is up top, and I'm going to just use Larry as my playable character here, even though you would have a Mario, Luigi, or Peach or something like that. And you could have another course coming off of this, different directions, all different ways. And this character could come up here and bop off the hat, scan the barcode, and go to these other platforms. And then there's an additional function, which maybe you've already seen, which is kind of a way for the playable character to maybe defeat Morton and be able to easily hop on their back. And that's by kind of collapsing this down. So this platform in here is kind of that 4x4, has 4 studs on it. The rest is tiled out. And you could like attach a Mario figure to that or something, and you can pull that out. So if you pull that out, the whole like back of the ship can go down. And it's a super simple mechanism. I'll try to show it kind of from the side a little bit. And it's going to be a little bit difficult, but if you move that in there, you can see how that kind of falls down, which works really nicely, and it topples Morton off of their position at the bow of the ship or whatever, and they can fall back, and then the playable character could scan their back. There's also another barcode here, so the Mario, Luigi, Peach character could pilot or man this ship and operate it. And again, the functionality there is if you stud down the playable character and it's scanning this, you can kind of fly this through the air and get coins and get points for that. So I really like all that in there. This function, it's a pretty well done. I thought at first it was by pressing down up here, and that's not the case. It's just by pulling this platform forward that gets that to operate, so that's actually a lot easier. This piece of railing here is just clipped on with one clip, so it can kind of move a little bit. It might fall off as Morton falls, or it'll just stay clipped and get out of the way, because it doesn't take too much to get that to fall backwards a little bit. So that's really cool. And just to see it again, we can do it like that. This stayed attached. He falls right through here in a nice way. So you could this on to whatever else from a course building perspective. I did want to make sure I showed the kind of this open all the way. You can get this open all the way, and you do have clearance to build off of this a little bit. I thought, if it was closed off a little more, you might not be able to use the kind of other ends of the platform. You might have to build out this way another bit, but you can do that. So these can open all the way, and I just have to make sure I'm not catching on something, but right now I am. And what is it? I know this can open all the way. I just had it. So we can, oh, whoops, I put a little too much stress on it there. That's so interesting, because I just had this all done, and let me make sure I put this together correctly. And we do one like this and a little like this, and then this kind of subassembly attaches with some of these clips here, and they actually do attach to the bar. But while we're in here, we can see kind of some of the mechanism there using a little bit of Technic. This connects to the bar in there like so. It takes a little bit to line it up, get it in there, and that's good. And I don't quite understand what is blocking this, but maybe, let's see here. If that's like that, fine. Okay, so now we are open all the way. So these are kind of at a 90-degree angle. I don't know what I was getting caught on. Well, there, now I'm caught on it again. And so something internally is not allowing me to do that. But once you drop that down, you can get it, you can bring that back up, close it. So that's a little bit of a thing. I might have built something a little wrong, or have a piece that's kind of hanging out or not kind of put in the correct position, but it's not too big of a deal. Like I said, if you encounter that where these hinges aren't opening all the way, it feels like they're being blocked by something, you can slide this out, put that back, and then put that back in, no problem, and then that resolves the issue. So glad we could figure that out together right now, and we can bring this together. Theoretically, the head can come off. It's pretty basic there, but it doesn't need to come off to connect. And again, we can see kind of some of the interesting building in here, the asymmetry of these different slopes, and how this kind of chain sort of collar type of thing is on there, and we can attach that back on. It looks great. Very happy to see that. And then we can kind of put this all back together in its kind of airship configuration. And we have both of these kind of all done here. And that's kind of everything that's in this set. There's a lot of pieces in here. There's a good amount of big pieces. There's not, it's not only like little pieces and one by ones. There are those. You can see there's a pile of extra pieces that I have. But I think these are so well done, so detailed. The functionality is really, really cool. Reminds me very much of the Bowser muscle car in a lot of ways. I haven't looked at the Bowser Airship yet, but that's very interesting to me because I believe that one's even bigger and longer and taller and maybe wider and everything. So that would be interesting to compare. But overall, this is super, super fun. I think, as far as the course building goes, I think they did accommodate it pretty well by having this open up and be a section. And while that's open up, you could still have this one being piloted and stuff. And then this one can also be piloted when it's closed up. So there's a little bit of different opportunities there. These builds are really, really well designed, have some great detail, a lot of attention to detail. All printed pieces or like the stickers with the barcode are pre-applied, which is wonderful. The figures are great, if maybe slightly lesser known kind of characters, but for people in the Super Mario universe, they might really recognize these and really want these characters. These could kind of interact together in some ways, and you do get a little extra here. You get the Goomba, so lots of good stuff in this set. Overall, I really, really, really enjoyed putting it together, so that's great. And I'll show the extra pieces because you do get quite a few. So here's all your 1x1s. There's a couple Technic things in here. You do get an extra of the clock print as well as one of the compass prints, which I believe is right here. So you get those. A couple flame pieces in there, your 1x1s, your tiles, your studs, your kind of bearing bushing things. This is a nice piece to get, the kind of half circle tile there. Some pyramid pieces, all just your tiny stuff. 1x1s, slopes, plates, tiles, studs, and everything else tiny like that. So a good amount of small pieces here. And this set is 1,062 pieces, and I paid $60 for it. So it retails for $80, which I already think $80 for over 1,000 pieces, licensed set, no stickers, all prints here, which I think the Mario stuff is kind of all prints as far as I've seen. So, that's already something, but this is a lot of stuff here to get for $80. I don't know what these figures will be worth. If they're in a character pack, they might be $5 or $6. This one might be closer to like 10 or something like that. This one might be 5 or 6. Goomba might only be $1 or $2. But then we look at these, this Larry's Airship could probably be a $30 set or maybe more, maybe a little bit less. I'd probably like it a little bit less. And this could probably be a $50, $60 kind of airship in it itself as well, especially considering the figures and everything else. So if this was broken into two sets, I think it would probably end up costing more than what it's currently at. So at the retail price of $80, I think for 1,062 pieces is a really good deal. I was able to get this set on sale, so I got another $20 off, bringing this down to $60, and that's a phenomenal deal. I mean, I think if I'm kind of gushing or already very pleased with the value of the retail price, any discount from that is super good and really, really nice. So I'm very pleased I got this set for the price I did. It's one of those, and actually, like the Bowser car, that was a great set for a great price. This one's kind of a higher price point. It's a slightly different market, but tons of good stuff in here. You can maybe build this with a partner or with a friend or a family or something like that. Could play the course builder with somebody else. So there's tons of good stuff here. The instructions for this, I believe, are just online. It comes with like a very thin, small booklet, but not any real instructions. So that's fine if people want to do it on their phone or their iPad or whatever you might want to do. I use it on my desktop where I build and record. But that's fine. I think I still would tend to like having the paper instructions, but if it's saving the environment, great. I'm not convinced that that's the reality, but for whatever reason, I think the Mario sets often don't have paper instructions. That might just be one of the quirks about this. Other than that, there is mold marks here or there because of production things. Overall, I think the printing's pretty good. Maybe the eyes and teeth on the Goomba could be a little more opaque. The rest of it feels pretty good, and I had a ton of fun looking at this, ton of fun building it and seeing it all come together. And now that I have these here, I feel really wonderful about this set. This was a fantastic experience, and that's coming from someone who's not a course builder, who's not super deep into the Mario lore, is not super deep into collecting Lego Super Mario sets, and I was just pretty thoroughly blown away. Great deal, great builds, tons of fun, tons of features, awesome characters. So I'm very, very pleased if you can't already tell. So I like this a lot. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Lego Super Mario, maybe the Bowser's Airship if I can find it, as well as tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shape, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of those upcoming Lego videos. And if you want to support this channel, support my videos here, you can do that right here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. And I still have the Patreon. It's in the video description. It's on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. That stuff helps me a lot, so maybe consider checking that out. I'm going to keep trying to build a community here and at the Patreon, and it means a lot to me, so thank you very much. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I would love to get there, and I appreciate all the help, so thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.